Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You like the way I sing? You like it, huh? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Or maybe you don't. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. But stop, I won't. I say bye-up, bye-up, bye-up. I love it when I do that, and people hate it when I do that. Fuck it. Let's get it, Holmes. Hey, in a Menudo style and direct fashion, as you can tell by that thumbnail, what's the difference between the way North and South interacted in C.Y.A. compared to prisons? It's funny that people ask this question, and a lot of people ask it because myself and Dove, we had a conversation earlier, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something on that, bro. I'm going to answer all the questions. Hey, at 10.5 a key, it's pura. I'm going to give it to them pura. I ain't going to add no preservatives or none of that. I'm going to just give it to you real because it's a real question that gets asked a lot. Being that I did time in the youth authority as well as prison, I can give you the differences, the similarities, all that. Guard! Shut up. He can't, I can. Now trip out. Even the woods can, brother. We can, brother. Now listen, when I was in the youth authority, it was on like Dinky and Donkey Kong. It was on site. It was ask no questions, tell no lies. It was get off where you were mad at. It was you made me mad, now I'm going to make you mad. It was tit for tat and tat for tits. What it was definitely was guerra. It was war. Okay? It was a war that was fought behind the walls that leaked down into the youth authority. And it being gladiator school, us being knuckleheads and youngsters striving and trying to earn stripes, what do you think we did? I said, ding, 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 ding. You got that right. In a Menudo style, we got off where we were mad at. Now, in reception at NRCC, the Northern California reception, it was on site. Full blast, full go, full 60. For those of you that don't know what full 60 means, go to the Gunner Handbook. We're under full 60, and you'll see me there going like this. Get them, right? We were going to get them. Definitely was on site. We definitely were against everybody that came from Southern California if they were brown, if they were Mexican. Now, as far as Crips, Bloods, we really had no feather with them, no beef at certain times. At certain times, hey, it did become a racial thing. It did become people tripping or set tripping or whatever. And then it was what it was. It was get off where you're mad at with them too. One thing about the youth authority was everybody was fighting everybody at all points in times. You could go on one compa, it could be all good in the hood, just some fights behind the hammer courts and the bliñas, and then go to the next compa and it was rocking, it was rolling, orale pop, oh boy, it was going down, right? But let me tell you, Holmes, everybody wasn't playing Boney Moroni at the same time, but we definitely were. And the reason we were as Norteños was because we had to. Our numbers were short. People were on us like fucking flies on shit, and we definitely were not going to go out like that. We were going to keep that establishment going. The flags that we planted, they were going to wave in the wind. Believe that. And we were going to wave with them. Now, C.Y.A., every different compa you went to, every different building, every different institution was a different style, different things, different people going at different people. I remember at one point, man, it was us predominantly just going at it with perro chatos. That was when I was in Preston. North and Bulldogs, I mean, rocking every single day, every chance you got. If you seen someone in the square area, get off. There was so many people in Tamarack, which was the oil, so many people in the hole that they couldn't even fit us all in there anymore because we were constantly getting off. Get off the oil, get off again. I mean, it was just boom, 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 like a revolving door. Hey, you're back, eh? Shit, almost like I never even left. The first battle I see, I was on them, and they were doing the same thing to us. As far as North and South and the interaction, because that's what I really wanted to touch more so on. Like I said, it was all hatred. It was all beef. Now, there were points in time when I was in Ellis when the guerra kind of calmed down. And it wasn't wartime all the time. And when it wasn't, we had conversations, civil conversations. The respect was always there. But at the end of the day, man, we didn't like each other. We definitely had pedo. Now, there was some guys that I took a liking to. And on the side, we have relationships as far as being friends, camaradas and all that. But hey, in the open, in the public, in the social and everything, nah, we didn't care for each other. We couldn't care for each other, man. That's just what it was. That's the way we were laced up. That's exactly what was happening. You know, it was full go all the time. And for the most part, like I said, it was on site. And it's crazy because some of them same guys that I fought with back then, some of them same guys, man, we were trying to twist each other's shit up, right? Some of them same individuals I have so much respect for. And now I see them as an adult and I'm like, damn, bro, remember, we can reminisce, kick back, never drink a Bud Light, sit down, sip a Modelo and talk about it. Speak on it. you know, because you can't speak on it unless you were there. Unless you enjoyed the C.Y.A. numbers, unless you were on that battlefield, Holmes, how can you reminisce or even discuss or talk about it if you weren't hands-on? So you need hands-on training over here, Holmes. This ain't the knowledge that you'll get in college. This is that real shit with some real spit. The gift and game of gab is real. You know, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, then you never won't. And that's just what it is. And you can't stop and you won't stop because it don't stop. Now, to be understandable, I'll say this. There were certain points in times, man, where there was some Vatos you just liked. You were like, man, they're not this cool. They're not this a cool dude, right? And you chose not to get off on him in the square area or whatever it was. If you seen him going right, you took a left. And that was just based on your own preferences and what you were doing. But it didn't happen much. For the most part, everybody was against everybody, and that's just the way it is. Now, one thing was for sure, I never really had no north on north, red on red incidences. We didn't have enough manpower, enough soldados to do that. So we didn't. We stuck to the grind. We were all together like Dayton's on a fucking hubcap. It just was real. That's how it was. Now, as far as the southern side, not the other side, they definitely had some confliction. They had some hood beef and some body warfare going on, even incarcerated. And I noticed that a lot. There were certain voters that were green lighted. They would get off right when they got in there. And it was crazy. I remember thinking back to myself, damn, they do it a little bit differently than when we do it. That was some real life gangster shit. We were too, but it was a whole different. We were more, we had a method to our madness. It was like playing chess. Those vatos were over there playing fucking Operation. They were taking your liver out. Just what it was. Now, when you go to prison, fast forward, rewind and fast forward again, I now find myself incarcerated in the penitentiary in Tracy. You know, and for those of you gunner, you never talk about prison. Well, I've been in Tracy, I've been in Corcoran, I've been in SADF, I've been in Jamestown, I've been in DVI. There you go, bang, bang. There's my, that's where I went, you know. You can't go, oh, well, you never been to high desert? Fuck no, I never been to high desert, never wanted to either. You ain't never been to Pelican Bay? Nope, absolutely not. Never went to, just never had the privilege of grace making my presence felt there. It's wherever they sent me, I say, it's wherever they sent me. Now trip out. So I remember getting to Tracy, and again, being a reception in prison, they kept us segregated from each other. They kept North-South Bulldogs segregated. Wasn't too many Bulldogs there unless they got caught up or fell out of a different county, because for the most part, I think they went to Wasco, if I'm correct. I know Wasco was LA County, Santa Barbara County, and of course, I think it was Kern County and Fresno County. They all went that way. Me, being from the 209, the Deuce 09 area, Merced County, we went to Tracy, DVI. That was our reception. I get there, it's like this and like that, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was like and like that. Trip, they segregated us. So it was more taking out the trash. It was more worried about our own people and what we had going on and some things I can't speak on. And let's just leave it at that. Now I move on to a mainline situation, general population, and mainline is a little bit of a different living as far as north and south goes. For the question that was asked by a young man earlier who said, well, why you feel this way? You should be going out like this. And like, it's not like that in prison. Spencer Holmes, even before and in the hostilities or whatever they got going on now, that I haven't been privileged to be on the yard since they started that shit. Because I've been out for a long time. I'll tell you this. I know things change, seasons change, but at the same time, man, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And it's the same old love song like Tony Braxton says. I definitely remember all the respect. That's the key word in my life is respect. The canalismo with the homeboys, the respect with the other guys, you know, from the other side. No matter what you want to call them, how you want to, you know, word it. You know, I say Rangers or Southside Southerners. They were definitely respectful people to me, and I had nothing but good interaction. We never once had pleito. See, I've had pleito with the Woods. Yes, the Woods, brother. We went at it with you all. You know what I mean? All over a bag of coffee, right? I had a lot of interaction, a lot of pleito with brothers, man. Just more so on the individual tip. One time we did go at it with the Southern Crips, which were the Crips from LA, and one time we did go at it with the Kumis. Orale Richmond, stand up, right? We handled our business, and they handled theirs. Definitely. But for the most part, man, we all functioned on the same side of the yard and it was all good in the hood. And I remember in Susanville, 3-yard Lassen, my neighbors, it was me and my celly from Sakra, and we used to bust down every day. It was part of the mandatory get down is what we did, you know. We chose to bust down right after breakfast, get our money, and then it was what it was for the day. We hit the yada and we functioned how we functioned because we were active and we functioned. And that's just what we did, right? But I remember our neighbors, one of them was from Sangra, a barrio called Sangra out there in Southern California. Very respected individual, Holmes. A very gangsterous individual. About to look like Bull Hurley from over the top. Wasn't playing. I thought got it down. I thought fucking Russia right here. Oh, really, Holmes? Right? But we used to bust down, and at the same time we were working out, we could hear them next door working out. Motherfuckers would work out so much, the walls would be sweating. The walls would be doing this, like if you were on mushrooms or something. it was real working out going on in there. Hands are slipping, you're shaking and shit when you're trying to do the burpee. That's when you know what you're doing. 122s, shit, Holmes. 522s. Step your game up, that's it. Real talk, right? So they're getting down over there. We're getting down right here. And then the homeboy Niner and another homeboy, one was from C.Y.A. I forget where the other one was from. They were over there. Look, damn, my arm looks good right there. See when I did that? Okay, look at that. Anyways, they're doing their thing over there. Everyone's busting down. And the respect was so big that me and the Southsiders used to interact, and we used to shoot CDs back and forth. Hey, Holmes, you want to work out to the Young Jeezy, the Snowman? Yeah. And bam, we shoot them oldies or we shoot them some RBL posse. And it was just going back and forth. And every time them vatos, we were on lockdown. We went on a lockdown situation because we wouldn't conform to Mac reps. These vatos would come out, bring us ice, Holmes. They'd fucking bring us sopas, coffee, whatever the case may be. They always looked out for their vecino, is what you do in prison. You look out for your vecino, but even more so than that, they looked out for us because we were brown. We were a raza. It didn't matter if we were from up north or down south. None of that mattered. We kept it very, very respectful. Every morning on the door, Simon, sí, right? Buenos dias, homie. You know what I mean? And it was like that. That's the difference between C.Y.A., the mentality as a youngster of guerra, war all the time, get off, kill the opposition, compared to prison. Now, we were all of the understanding that everybody was watching everybody. We were all of the understanding at all points in times to stay on your point, man, to have your half 60 ready, to stand your ground, be on a defensive stance. If that door cracked and about to got off, well, let's get off with them, right? We understood what time it was, that we were probably targeted and they were probably targeted by us, more than likely. But what we also understood was there had to be respect there as men, as convicts, as real ones. That's something I push and I direct even in real life. I talk a lot about prison and gangs because I lived that life. That's mostly what I know. But I also know about real life now. And first and foremost, I know about being a father and teaching your children respect, to respect their elders, to respect all those around them, no matter of ethnicity, if they're binary, whatever they is, if they drink Bud Light. Respect everyone. At the end of the day, you don't be a follower. Don't do what they does because you think it's cool. Do what you do, as said. Let's see how them fucking dominoes fall. That's what I teach my children. I teach my children respect. I teach my children love and admiration. But first and foremost, more than anything, I teach them discipline and I teach them awareness. That's something you need to teach. So everything that I learned in C.Y.A. and prison, I utilize for the streets. I utilize for what I do with my family life. I utilize at my job. And whatever I do to motivate myself, you know, every morning I got up and I did those burpees and I cleaned that cell and I took my bird bath and I had that rutina, right? And I made sure makina was mandatory. That's what I do on the streets. The same thing. I get up in the morning. If you look push-ups, never hurt nobody. If you look burpees, I do my thing. Pull-ups and push-ups, all mine, right? And I definitely get my grind on because I remember all the struggle and the striving that I went through and the hardship that I went through just so I can maintain on that yard. So why not do it here so I can maintain in this world as a man, as a respected man? Now, there's a lot of you that don't respect me that still watch me. Gracias for the love. But there's a lot of people that hate on me because of the way I am and because of what I say and don't feel I should be speaking on certain things. And I try to toe that line. I try not to speak on anything that I shouldn't. But at the same time, I'm just telling you my lifestyle, how I feel, and what I've been through. All these tales that I tell you are real. All these tales I tell you have been facts. I've went through this. I don't need to sugarcoat or add preservatives to anything. Why? Why do that? So I could just sit here and tell you jokes all day and you'll still watch me. But I give it to you as real can get because that's the way a real man is supposed to do it. Realness and respect, key in life. Now, when we're in Y.A., I remember one time where the blacks actually got a little bit deeper on the compa and they were set tripping. They were tripping on the raza. They were tripping on the Mexicans, right? And me always coming from that black and brown unity, always coming from, man, functioning on the streets, having black friends. I wasn't into that. I wasn't digging it. You know, I had a lot of black homeboys. Man, shout out to the homeboy D-Dog from Hoover. Shout out to Snoop from Hoover. Shout out to Tiny Eva from A-Tray Gangsta Crips. I had a Smiley Roof from Neighborhood Power Room. Power Room. That was the homeboy, right? Bullet from Bounty Hunter, Spider from Backstreet Watch, just so many Young Dag from PJs. These brothers were my homeboys. So when everyone got together and was tripping on each other, I remember always saying, man, I have to put my brown people forward first, and I always have to be on the front line for the people, but I didn't like it. Okay, I didn't like it. And I remember that canalismo that was showed between the North and South and Y.A. That was the one and only time that I ever felt righteousness and I ever felt, man, we're complete in what we could do when we were complete. Oh, wait, monsters. Walters were like, oh, on crip, cuz. I don't know about these guys. They mess these guys. Knives, right? They was different. Everybody turned the left cheek and everybody just respected it. And it never went down. But I remember at that point thinking to myself two different things. Man, I don't want to have to go against people that I rock with and I function with. But at the same time, man, these dudes who were considered my enemies, who I hated at that point, I actually liked. It was crazy, right? It was weird. Anyways, as I got older, there was never no hatred there. There was never no beef. It was all professionalism and class. I understood I'm in prison now. These are the opposition. Hey, there's always going to be those who oppose. You know, there's always going to be the other side to the coin. There's always going to be those that you're not supposed to get along with, but you really don't have no beef with. But because you're in a certain place at a certain time, you have to act a certain way. And your awareness must be up because they're probably feeling the exact same way. There's some they'll get you. You know what I mean? They really, in real life. So anyways, that's how it was. So when the people ask me questions, what was the difference and why between North and South and prison? And it's the word respect. We respected ourselves in Y.A. Oh, all we really wanted was to earn stripes and be respected in the hood and our names to be known and the strive for excellence was real. Orale. We were really trying to do that, but we didn't respect ourselves enough to understand that them other guys that we were fighting were just like us. You're killing yourselves, Chewy, right? We didn't understand that. We didn't care. We might have understood it, but we necessarily didn't give a fuck. Because at the same time, man, that was war in the 90s. See, that was real gangbanging. None of that shit mattered. Hey, did you know the difference between right and wrong? Hell yeah, but it was wrong to do right. Bam! So, toma, we did what we did. Now, as an older adult, as an OG, if we want to call it a veterano, someone who's been around the block in the 6'4" on flats, riding on, but I'm still striving, right? New, you know, and I know that it was wrong for the way I acted. But that was the only way to establish. That was the only way to hold it down. Shit, I was in no man's land. That's it. Hey, get up, Chucky. I didn't have no choice. They set my fucking ass down south. And what do you expect me to do? Fucking PC up? Charlie, Holmes? Nah, hell nah. And I never did that in prison either. For those of you that want to woof on that. Never PC'd up. Never did none of that. Went out on my motherfucking shield, rocking on that yard that red on red. Y'all fucked up. I know I did. But at the same time, it was me or him. Guess what? Helicopter. Him, not me. I'm good in the hood. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, if I can answer questions and you have questions to answer or to ask me, I'll answer them to the best of my abilities when I have the tiempo. Because I'm a family man, first and foremost, even though I ain't got no chick, but I got several tiradas. And I'm a father, and I got several kids from several different baby mamas. So you already know child support with. I'm always broke. And I got a lot of things going on, but at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, if I could definitely answer the questions of the people that support me, I will try. So the question posed here was the difference between C.Y.A. and prison. As far as North and South, I could say prison is a whole different animal. It's all built on respect. It's built on class professionalism. It's built on realness. Whereas Y.A. was built on realness too, but realness for the wrong reasons. It is what it is. We did what we did, and we're going to continue to live and strive for that life. For those of you that don't understand it, have never been to prison, good. You don't want to go. Look at what happened to Money Side Suede. It's not for everyone. That's it. Just because you're out there gang banging on the streets and you think you're cool, come on, bro. Let me tell you something. You go in there, you're so cool that they're going to call you a culo. You already know what it is. This is the gun, man. You can hit me with that thumbs up or that thumbs down. See, heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I honestly and truly and really believe in. And that's everyone coming together. Did I say every bun or everyone? Shit, I'm trying to clap. Where's she at, right? Every bun. I'm trying to get all them buns. And I ain't talking Bud Light. This is real, right? Anyways, you already know what it is, man. This is the gun. Woo! Bang, bang.